Welcome back to video 2 of the Futuristic Marketing series, my friends. And today, we're going to dive right into the money subject, traffic. And I'm going to show you how to get it. You see, it doesn't matter if you're a network marketer, a speaker, an author, a trainer, a coach, an information marketer, or even have a small local business. If you don't have eyeballs seeing what you have to offer, then you're never going to make a dime. Which is the reason why every business owner needs to solve their traffic problems in one way or another. If you don't, you fail. But before I get started giving you some strategies to go implement today, it's important that you understand a few of the major trends happening on the internet and how that's actually affected advertising. So you might want to bust out your notebook here because you're going to want to remember as much of this knowledge as you can. I've spent the last 9 months traveling back and forth from Silicon Valley and immersed in lots of crazy conversations to figure some of this stuff out. When you see where the future's going, it helps you make a lot more money today. Now, if I had to sum up one of the world's single greatest trends that most people don't even know is happening into one word, I'd say it's this: curation. The world as we know it is getting curated. Specifically, content on the internet is getting more and more and more curated, and this is only going to get bigger in our lives. Now, if that's a weird word for you, don't worry, I'll explain. You see, to curate basically means to organize. Curation is a procedural process to organize something, and that's what's happening to content on the internet. And soon, to our entire internet and mobile experience, but that's a whole other artificial intelligence sci-fi conversation that we'll talk about later. Now, when the internet just started out, it was a complete mess, alright? There was no curation of content in almost any form. The information was spread far and wide, and it was difficult to search for what you wanted and even more difficult to trust it when you found it. Now, over the years, curation has gotten better and better. Search engines like Google constantly improve their algorithms to get you more relevant results. Facebook develops formulas that determine for you which of your friends' posts you'll get to see and whose you won't. Now, as totalitarian as that sounds, we actually mostly like it. And who would have thought 1 decade ago that the world's most knowledgeable, wealthy company, who set out to create the best encyclopedia in the world, remember Microsoft and Carta, comprised of the world's foremost experts in all subjects, would be defeated by a tiny non-profit group of kids who had a crazy idea of letting anybody contribute their knowledge towards any subject? Well, that's Wikipedia, now the 6th most trafficked website in the world. Wikipedia is the textbook definition of curating content. Their intricate process of letting anyone contribute knowledge has resulted in the most popular encyclopedia in the world, and the trend of curation proved so successful it defeated the Goliath Microsoft. So how does this affect traffic? Well, it turns out it's not just free content that's being curated, but paid as well. Advertisers and their sites are now thrown into this mix too. So gone are the days when you could just put up any ads you want on any old site and send them to any page and have business run as usual. Nowadays, things have changed. On a whole, the internet is evolving to be far more community driven. It's the community that now curates content. It's the community that decides which content is good and which content is bad. It's the people who have become the new algorithms. And the biggest internet companies in the world know this and are desperately scrambling to get a grip on it. Why do you think Google has tried so many times to figure out the social network piece? Do you really think they enjoy constant failure? No one does, but they've been willing to go at it time and time again because of how crucial it is to the future of content curation. You see, Facebook has a big one up on Google right now, and it's called the like button. Facebook's content is all crowd curated. What better way is there to determine the value of content than how real people rate it on a daily basis? There isn't, and that's why Google needs to get real people rating its content, its ads, and its products badly. And they've been doing that. You've probably seen the zillion new Google Plus buttons, like buttons, and personalized options that have popped up to help you rate content you find in Google. The point is this: Over the last few years, many advertisers have complained because it's gotten harder and harder to advertise on big sites. Well, the reason why is because their content stinks. At the end of the day, it's being curated out of existence because it's not delivering the value to the users like it should be. Now, this is a massive paradigm shift in marketing. We've got to start thinking about user experience, not just direct response. Let me explain the difference. In direct response, it's all about controlling the user's experience to produce the best possible result for you, the advertiser. Well, come to find out, a lot of advertisers were producing content that users didn't really like. Big surprise. In this new paradigm, it's all about creating the best possible experience for the user, even if that means changing what used to work, adopting new models, and trying completely new things. As marketers of the future, we need to embrace the change. We need to deliver a higher value to our users than marketers of the past. And we need to adopt the new mediums, strategies, and concepts to do this. Oh, and by the way, if you're doing this whole thing right, you will be making more money than you ever have in your life before. We have never lived in history in a time like we live today. A time that is so virally potent, you can see 80 million people download a video in a single week. You can see an app that's launched in less than 6 weeks sell for $180 million, or a small little team of 9 people who came up with a cool way to take pictures would sell their company to Facebook for $1 billion less than 24 months after they launched, and still with only 9 people on the team. We have never lived in a time like this before. And after I'm done showing you the marketing strategies of the future, you're going to be able to make all the results you've produced in the past look like chump change.